What if every thought you've ever had, every moment you've lived, every dream you've dared not speak, was written? Not in a journal, not in your memory, but in a dimension that exists beyond time and space. A place where the blueprint of your soul, past, present, and future, lies quietly waiting to be remembered. This is not fantasy. This is not fiction. This is the Akashic Records. For centuries, mystics and sages have spoken of a realm where all information, every word, every choice, every possible path, is recorded in an invisible matrix. Known to the ancients as the Book of Life, the Akashic Records are believed to be the metaphysical archive of every soul's journey through all incarnations. But what are these records really? Who can access them? And more importantly, why has this knowledge been hidden from you? Tonight, we journey into the forbidden halls of consciousness, peeling back the veils of illusion to explore a truth older than civilization itself. From the Vedas of India to the mystic teachings of Atlantis, from secret societies to modern spiritual science, there has always been one constant: a belief in the existence of a universal mind that remembers everything. This video is not merely information, it is initiation. We will reveal the mystical origins of the records, the reasons why access is rare, and the practices that can help you open the gateway to your own soul's library. But be warned, once you begin to remember, your world will never be the same. Are you ready to awaken the forgotten knowledge that has always belonged to you? Then follow closely. The records are opening. A whisper of a field that sees all, remembers all, and forgets nothing. In the ancient Sanskrit texts of India, the Vedas, this field was called Akasha, meaning ether or spirit. It was described as the primordial substance from which all things arise. According to the mystics of India, Akasha is the cosmic womb, the unseen, intelligent fabric of the universe. It was never merely space, it was memory. Later, in esoteric Buddhism and Tibetan traditions, monks spoke of a great book of lives, read only by adepts in deep trance or by enlightened beings between incarnations. Egyptian initiates referenced a hall of records buried beneath the Sphinx, an eternal archive guarded by symbols and sound. And in Hermetic and Gnostic teachings, the Logos, the divine word, was believed to shape all reality through encoded knowledge held in divine realms. From Babylon to Atlantis, from the Mayans to the mystery schools of Greece, scattered remnants of a forgotten truth point in one direction. A hidden architecture of memory encoded into the very fabric of existence. But here lies the mystery. Why was such a profound concept buried beneath centuries of dogma and ridicule? The answer lies in power. Knowledge of the Akashic Records implies something dangerous to controlling systems. It implies that you, the individual, have access to divine memory. That you are not separate from the source but entangled with it. That your life isn't random, but part of a tapestry more intricate than anything you've been told. The Church declared such knowledge heresy. Science, for centuries, dismissed it as mystical nonsense. Yet great minds, like Rudolf Steiner, Edgar Cayce, Helena Blavatsky, insisted they could access it. Cayce, often called the sleeping prophet, entered altered states and read from these records to diagnose illness and describe future events with uncanny accuracy. Steiner described the Akashic field as a spiritual internet, one that connects every soul, every event, across time. And Blavatsky believed the records held the truth of humanity's ancient origins, lost beneath the tides of war and empire. Even Nikola Tesla hinted at such a field when he said, "All matter is connected by a field." To understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Was he describing the Akasha? And now, in the age of quantum physics, scientists whisper of a quantum field of information, where particles communicate instantaneously, memory exists outside of the brain, and time is no longer linear. Perhaps, the ancients were right all along. The Akashic Records are not a place. They are not a library in the clouds. They are a dimension, a living archive etched into the deepest layers of consciousness, accessible not by telescope but by stillness. You do not find them with your eyes. You remember them with your soul. The Akashic Records are not written in ink. They are encoded in vibration. Think of the universe as a vast ocean, and every thought, word, or action as a ripple across its surface. These ripples do not disappear. They are recorded in the medium itself, like sound etched into the grooves of a vinyl record, or binary code stored in the invisible cloud of the digital world. Except this cloud is not made of data. It is made of consciousness. In essence, the Akashic Records are the energetic imprint of every soul's journey. Every choice, every regret, every lesson unlearned. They are the soul's mirror and compass, reflecting your past while quietly suggesting your most aligned future. You have already touched them, every time you feel déjà vu, every time you dream of a place you've never seen but deeply recognize, every time your intuition whispers something you have no reason to know. This is not coincidence. It is remembrance. The records exist beyond the dimension of form. They are not found in time but in timelessness. Accessing them is not about going outward, it's about going inward, deep inward, past your thoughts, past your memories, past the ego's illusions. Those who've touched the Akashic plane describe it not as reading a book, but as entering a knowing, a sudden, luminous clarity, a flood of understanding that feels as if it's always been there, just beyond the edge of perception. But how is such a thing even possible? In modern spiritual science, the Akashic Records are described as part of the zero-point field, an infinite, intelligent sea of energy where all information exists in pure potential. Rupert Sheldrake's morphic resonance, Carl Jung's collective unconscious, Ervin Laszlo's Akashic field theory, all point toward a reality where information is not stored in the brain, but in a field that the brain merely tunes into. Like a radio receiving signals from an unseen station, the human mind, when properly aligned, can access these higher frequencies. But the doorway is narrow. To access the records, one must silence the noise of ordinary thought. Ego must dissolve. The seeker must approach with reverence, humility, and stillness. This is why the records are not easy to access. Not because they are locked, but because we are noisy. We are saturated with distraction, addicted to stimulation. We demand answers from without when the records only answer from within. And yet, there are moments when your breath slows, your thoughts fall away, and something ancient stirs inside you. A memory not of this life but of the soul. This is the beginning of the path, the beginning of reconnection. You are not learning, you are remembering. The Akashic Records are not a myth, nor a metaphor. They are a living intelligence interwoven with every breath you take. But here's what most people don't understand. You are not separate from the records. You are not an observer. You are a contributor. Every thought you've had, every decision you've made, is already there, echoing in the infinite library of Source. You are both the author and the authored. And yet we forget. What? Because remembering would make you sovereign. It would strip away the illusions of power, separation, and fear that bind this world like invisible chains. It would awaken within you a knowing that cannot be controlled by dogma, manipulated by media, or commodified by culture. The Akashic field is pure awareness, benevolent, neutral, precise. It does not judge. It does not punish. It simply is. A divine record of everything that has ever been, and every potential that could ever be. Many ask, who writes these records? But the real question is, who reads them? Because what you see in the records depends not on what's there, but on who you are when you enter them. A fearful mind will interpret patterns as fate. A controlling mind will cherry-pick visions to reinforce ego. But a humble, receptive heart will see truth not as information, but as transformation. This is why access to the Akashic Records is often veiled behind metaphor and mystery. If the average person could access all timelines, all karmas, all soul intentions without preparation, it could overwhelm the psyche. It would be like giving a child a map of the stars without teaching them how to navigate by the sun. The records are self-protecting. They reveal only what is aligned and only when you are ready. Often what is shown is not what you want, but what you need. You may not receive answers in words. Sometimes it's a vision, a feeling, a knowing that makes no logical sense but burns with undeniable clarity. It may come during meditation, in a dream, in the space between thoughts where truth whispers and ego sleeps. You may ask about a past life and instead receive a symbol. You may seek the future, only to be reminded of a lesson still unresolved in the present. And yet, this is the beauty of the records. They are not a database. They are a teacher, a mirror, a guide. They reveal what will liberate you, not what will entertain you. But beware the modern illusion. Many now speak of the Akashic Records like a trendy keyword, a shortcut to psychic power or spiritual status. But there are no shortcuts to truth. To access the true records is to meet your own soul, naked, raw, eternal. And for many, that is the most terrifying and most liberating thing of all. Because once you remember, you can never unremember. Time slows. A heartbeat-like rhythm underscores the narration. Narrator, now that the veil has lifted, how do you begin? How does one access the Akashic Records not as a theory, but as a lived experience? First, understand this. You do not need to be a mystic, a prophet, or a priest. You need only stillness, intention, and reverence. The records respond not to clever minds but to sincere hearts. They do not open through force, but through frequency. Step 1. Prepare the inner temple. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. This is sacred time, treat it as such. Dim the lights. Silence your phone. Burn incense if it resonates. Light a candle not as decoration but as symbol, the flame that guides you inward. Sit or lie comfortably. Close your eyes. Begin to breathe, not just to oxygenate the body but to awaken the soul. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Feel the body soften. Let each breath be a descent into your own inner chamber. Step 2. Set a sacred intention. Say silently or aloud, I now enter the Akashic field with humility and love. May what I receive serve my highest growth and the greater good of all. This is not performance. This is alignment. Step 3. Ask with clarity, listen with openness. Begin with a question. But not just any question. Ask not, when will I be rich? Ask instead, what patterns must I understand to align with my soul's abundance? Ask not, who was I in my past life? Ask, what karmic lesson is echoing through this lifetime? Then listen, not just with ears but with your entire being. The answer may not come as a voice. It may come as a memory, a symbol, an emotion, a whisper in your bones. Write it down. Record what you see, feel, sense. Often, the meaning unfolds slowly, like a flower opening over days. Step 4. Ground what you've received. When you exit the meditation or altered state, place your hands over your heart. Breathe. Say aloud, I honor what was shown. I release what does not serve. I return to my body whole and aware. Drink water. Walk barefoot. Return to the now. Knowledge without grounding becomes fantasy. Knowledge with embodiment becomes power. Common obstacles to overcome. If nothing comes, do not force. You may need more preparation, more patience. This is a relationship, not a transaction. If fear arises, it is not a warning to run, but an invitation to sit with the shadow. If ego begins to take over, pause. Humility is the key to deeper access. Remember, you are not downloading data. You are entering a space of divine communion. What you seek may seek you in return, but only when the channel is clean. Practice regularly. Keep a dedicated journal for your records. Track symbols, recurring themes, dreams, and insights. Over time, patterns will emerge. Truth will crystallize, and you will realize something profound. You were never disconnected. The Akashic Records were not outside of you. They were always within you, waiting for you to be still enough to listen. We spend our lives searching for meaning, for truth, for a sense that we are more than flesh, more than circumstance, more than memory. But what if what you seek has always been seeking you? The Akashic Records are not a myth of mystics. They are a mirror of your eternal self. A sacred archive that does not just tell you who you were, but reminds you who you are becoming. You are not bound by fate. You are not a prisoner of time. You are a soul in motion, an echo of the divine remembering its own voice. In every breath, in every moment of silence, the records are there. Whispering, waiting, watching. Not to judge you, but to walk with you, to guide you back to the path you never truly left. This knowledge is not meant to decorate your intellect. It is meant to ignite your transformation. So take a step not outward, but inward, into the sacred stillness, into remembrance. And when you are ready, ask the question. Not what is my purpose, but what part of me has been waiting to be remembered? Because the truth is this. You are not here to learn the records. You are here to become them. If this awakens something within you, like, share, and subscribe to walk this path with others. Your soul already knows the way. Now, it's time to remember.